Hey everyone. Okay, so let's talk auditory processing and how that can affect reading, academics, or even when your child has, what I call these smart kids who are accused of being lazy. So if you have a child who maybe is constantly accused of being lazy, told they're super smart, they just need to try harder, put more effort in, maybe you feel like that. Maybe you have a partner who, isn't kind of on board that there's something really going on, that it's just laziness and they need to pull up their socks and so forth, then you definitely want to tune in. So not only are these kids sometimes considered, lazy and just need to put more effort in, sometimes it's even considered almost like it's a defiance or they're just not doing it because I know they're capable and so forth. So if they are working hard but being perceived as lazy, this can be really devastating to this child's self-esteem, because there's nothing worse where you're trying really hard at something, you're not doing well, and someone just thinks you're not trying hard enough. Like, I can't imagine, anything worse for these kids. So this is where the defiance can kick in because these kids might start to check out. They often, by I'm going to say grade 5, 6, 7, 8 can start to be like, what's the point? No matter what I do, nobody's happy. I can't get it right anyway, and so forth. So let me know if that's an issue, if you can relate to that. What have you tried to overcome that? What has worked? So this kid, Logan, had poor auditory processing. Mom had tried everything. He had poor auditory sequencing, auditory discrimination. So he had a lot going on. And basically what happened was, again, the school just thought that this kid needed to try harder and, is lazy, he's very capable, and so forth. And so while some people with auditory processing disorder might strain, with things like deciphering background noise from foreground noise, so that's what we know as auditory discrimination and so forth, Logan was fine with that. His auditory processing breakdown was where he didn't register oral information very well that was coming through his ears. So sometimes these are like the kids who are like, huh, or what? And they hear you, they don't have a hearing issue, but it's a processing issue. And so this is why multiple diagnosis can be so common, because when we aren't able to process things well, that's going to affect a lot. And it's going to cause breakdown with both learning, focus, as well as behavior. So if you just kind of consider how much a weak auditory system can impact, you can see not only why there is multiple diagnosis, but why these kids get so discouraged, because it's affecting so much, so it can feel like no matter what they're attempting, they just can't do it. So basically what I want to talk about though is how auditory processing affects reading and learning. And that is that beyond poor attention and overwhelm and so forth, learning breakdown can occur with auditory processing in several areas, and that's why it can encompass so much. So because poor integration of auditory processing can affect basically being able to distinguish phonic sounds, being able to blend sounds, being able to mix speech sounds, or sometimes these kids might put, like, say the word, I don't know, cat, and they read the A before the C because the sequencing is off. They might have an inability to follow directions or sequences properly. So then this can end up with not having good reading comprehension and so forth. They might misinterpret tone of voice. So if they are also unable to make connections or inferences, that's going to greatly impact their reading comprehension, as well as their understanding of just certain things that they're learning in class, like certain kind of a little more abstract concepts and so forth. So depending on the type of auditory breakdown determines which skills and areas are going to be affected. But ultimately, auditory processing can affect, what I really just want to drive home today is that auditory processing can affect so much, from sensory processing to attention to reading, focus, all of that type of stuff. And that is why it is so important to, number one, figure out what's going on, even beyond auditory processing. Everyone always reaches out and says, how do I find out if my child has auditory processing? But even deeper, what's causing the poor auditory processing? Because if we just find out they have poor auditory processing, but then we don't do anything about it, then we are kind of just stuck in that world of managing things rather than overcoming the difficulties. So I'm going to be talking all about auditory processing next Thursday. I'm doing a free training all about causes, and then addressing it with real kind of corrective solutions with food, nutrition, gut health, as well as exercises. I'm going to be giving a whole freebie out on that. It's probably the last time I'm going to be running it for free. So make sure you sign up and attend. If you can't attend the live, the replay will be sent out. So just make sure that you enroll, and you'll get a replay via email. I hope to see you at the live, because then we can answer questions and help you further and dig deeper. But I will put a link for that in the comments below. And in the meanwhile, let me know, what are you seeing with your child? Do you think auditory processing is a factor with their learning and reading and focus issues and behavior issues and so forth? So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic day.